Well, I want to start off by thanking Red Raider Nation for showing up today, man. It was really special. It's been an incredible ride this year, but it was really special to have so many Texas Tech fans. I'm sorry that we let you down, but I hope you've enjoyed every second of this year, man. This is such a special team, and I'm so proud of them. But thank you for that. Hats off to Dan Lanning and hats off to the Oregon Ducks. Just an incredible football team, and they played at a really high level today, and I'm going to be rooting for them. I told Dan after the game, I hope he wins the whole damn thing, and they're a good football team. And then I also thought, as a lot of people don't say it, and I don't know if I've ever said in a press conference, but I thought the officiating was as good as I've been a part of in college football. And so hats off to the ACC crew today. They did a good job. It's no fun being in that locker room right now. I've said it all year long. Been doing this for 31 years. I've never been a part of a closer group of men, and never been so proud. There's one thing that I told them, and I truly believe it. Like, when you do something that nobody's ever done what these guys did wearing this uniform ever. And so then the standard's set. And, that's where you start building something really special. And so I can't thank them enough. And this is going to hurt for a long time. I know these guys are hurting right now, but can't be more proud of my football team.
Thank you very much, Coach McGuire. Joining us also has now been linebacker Jacob Rodriguez. We're going to now open it up to questions for both or all three of our attendees on stage, Coach McGuire and Baron Morton and Jacob Rodriguez. Please raise your hand. A microphone will be brought to you. And when you receive the microphone and get the acknowledgement, please state your name, your affiliation before asking your question. Questions are now open.
Dan Wolkin from Yahoo Sports for Baron. Start of the fourth quarter, obviously a lot of things had gone wrong offensively up to that point, but you do get the opportunity there in the red zone. Can you just describe what you guys were talking about and thinking, kind of at the doorstep of that opportunity, and then what happened on the interception?
Yeah, it was, we got a timeout, so we had a play that we wanted to run. I didn't have good eyes. They came out in something that I thought they were in differently. I thought they're in man, throw the corner route. Corner fell off of it, made a great play. I thought we saw a really good defense today, but I thought offensively, this is not the standard of football that Texas Tech plays. But like Coach said, a lot to be proud of this year. But today was tough.
Our next question. You'll be right down front here. We'll get the microphone to you.
Ty Kaplan, Dallas Morning News. Baron, can you kind of just take us through your emotions right now? Obviously, this is kind of the accumulation of a big career for you.
It's tough. I love this university, everything that it stands for. I've been a Red Raider since I was a little kid, so to get to do this year has been awesome. A great group of guys. Man, it's just been so fun just to, put Texas Tech back on the map. And, Lubbock deserves every bit of everything that happened this year. And, we can hang our hat on something. Obviously not the outcome that we wanted, but, really proud of this team in the way that, we fought through adversity this year. And, I'm proud to be a Red Raider.
Next question.
Don Williams from the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. Baron, in terms of the offensive struggle today, would you say it had more to do with, rust from the layoff, with scheme of their defense, with the talent disparities? What do you think? What could you put your finger on that?
Yeah, I think that we had a great game plan. The whole month, really, we had a great game plan, and we just didn't execute base plays. We didn't run our day one stuff that we run good. I didn't do a good job of, settling down and, really focusing on, the next play. But there was a lot of things that we could have done differently. Can't give them the ball. We got to keep the ball on our side when we're on offense. But just a lot of bad football on offense.
Kevin Sherrington, Dallas Morning News. Joey, the same question to you. What did you feel like it was that kept y'all from being the kind of offense y'all been all year?
Yeah, I mean, you can't turn the ball over. I mean, that's a really good defense. I mean, that's one of the top defenses in the country. We knew that coming in, so I want to give them all the credit, and they did a great job defending us. I thought they did a good job of keeping the ball in front of them, not giving up a lot of big plays. We've been a big play offense, explosive offense, so they kept the ball in front of them. But you can't turn the ball over 4 times. I think that led to 13 points, and then the other part of that was we were not good on second down. I didn't think we were horrible on first down, but on second down we're not efficient at all. So it put us in some really tough third downs, and they played really well on defense.
Next question. Do we have a question on the right? Okay.
Pete Christie, KCBD in Lubbock. For Jacob, I know you guys are hurting right now, but can you talk about what it's meant to you to be with this group and be a Texas Tech Red Raider?
It means everything to me. I know that this changed my life. It's changed my family's life, and it's not just me. It's everybody in that locker room. This double T has touched everybody in a way that this year was so special for us, and today didn't go the way we wanted it to, but I'll always be able to look back on this year and be proud of the people that were around me, and I kind of told them throughout and just a couple minutes ago that they got me for the rest of their life, and I'm not going anywhere, and I'm here for them always, and they got me forever. And so the way this place and this university and this program has changed my life, I'm hoping to be able to do that for every single one of them.
And then for Coach McGuire, I know you guys are hurting as well, but first 12-win season, great recruiting class coming in. The future is bright for Red Raider football.
Yeah, that it's people have asked me a lot. Have you been able to reflect on this year and everything? And I never do that until it's all said and done. And so the next few days, I'll definitely reflect. I do think that we've set a standard, that we're going to try to live up to. We're losing some really great football players, but, you've always got to do something special, do something that, the guys like Oregon's about to try to go to, and Miami there's got to be a first, and this is the first group that was able to do that. No Red Raider team before us were able to do what we've accomplished this year, but today it hurt for a long time, but we're going to learn from it, and we're going to keep getting better.
On the left, please.
Eli Letterman, ESPN. This can be for Joey or Barron or both of you, but there's going to be a lot of conversation around the layoff and teams now being 0-6 after the bye. Defense didn't seem to skip a beat, but was there anything you sensed in the offense today with the struggles that maybe that caught up to, or something in the prep that even 20 minutes off the field you'd like to have done differently?
Man, the tough thing is if we use the layoff, then we're going to use an excuse. And we believe in this program, you don't make excuses and you don't let anybody make them for you, And so we've got to do better. If this is going to be what the college football playoffs is, then we got to find a way to be better to win that game. But, I think more than anything, it was a mixture of playing a really good Oregon defense and us not executing at a high level. I think that's whenever you're in these games and you're playing teams that's every bit as good and every bit as talented as you are, and vice versa, then, you've got to execute at a high level. And I think that was the biggest thing. Now, I'll piggyback off of Dan, and we'll see what everybody else says. I mean, we're in a world that makes no sense, but that's, where we're at, and you got to find a way to be better to win this game.
Dan Wolken, Yahoo Sports. Joey, through the course of the season, you guys proved you were the best team in the Big 12, by a pretty significant margin. Today, from your perspective, was it a bad day, or did they present, something from a size speed quotient that maybe the Big 12 hadn't prepared you for?
No, I mean, I know stats are a little bit different, but I mean, they were rushing for over 200 yards against Big Ten teams, and they rushed for 64 yards today. And I know some of that was in sacks and snaps and stuff like that, but we still did that. I do think, and Barron would probably say the same thing. I think defensively that was the best defense that we had faced this year. And I do think they did a really good job schematically. Their defense coordinator, defensive staff did a really good job of giving us some issues. But I go back and, whenever you turn the ball, let's see, we turned the ball over 4 times. If I look at the 4th down conversion, there was really one that was like a competitive game that we didn't get. So that's a 5th turnover. The score was 23-0. We were desperate, so they get that last touchdown that we didn't hold them out. And so if you look, and they scored, would we say 13 off of turnovers? I mean, we didn't play good enough. It really wasn't the patch on anybody's arm. That's a really good football team, though, man. Like, if the quarterback decides to go in the draft, he's probably going to be the first or second guy taken. It just comes down to execution, and we didn't execute at a high level.
Andrew Goodrich, Texas Tech on SI. David Bailey showed out today, Coach. What did he show NFL scouts today?
Well, I think he showed all year long. If I'm sitting there and I'm an NFL team, if I'm not taking a quarterback or a left tackle, if I'm a team that's going to take a defensive player, I don't know what defensive player out there you would take over David Bailey. I mean, I really don't. I've been around some special guys. I got to coach a really special one as a position coach, and then we had Tyree Wilson. I honestly, some of the stuff that he does, I've never seen a guy do at that level. And so, man, if I'm an NFL team, I'm going to take a defensive player. I'm taking him first overall.
Next question.
Yeah, Brian London from the Believe Podcast Network. Coach, if I told you this morning that their quarterback, who you just said is going to be one of the first picks in the draft, didn't have a touchdown pass, would you take that from your defense?
Yeah, we went in at halftime. It was 6-0. We missed a field goal that, we got one of the best kickers in the country, and, he's made some long, critical field goals this year, and we just pushed it to the left. But, I would, if you ever woke up this morning and you'd have told me it's going to be 6-0 at halftime, then I would have taken that too. I knew this was going to be a dogfight. I mean, you really do. I mean, if you look statistically at the two defenses, you've got two of the best defenses in the country, going at each other. And so, yeah, I would have taken the 6-0 at halftime.
Next question.
Following up on that, considering it was 6-0 at halftime for either Joey or Barron, when you guys went in to regroup and to plan out the second half, was there anything that you wanted to go to just try to get yourself going, or consider it's only a 1-score game at that time? Are you still looking to hit with a big play?
Yeah, I think we were just trying to, find a good play that we could get in rhythm. It kind of felt on first down, we were just trying to find our rhythm, and we didn't find our rhythm for a while. But coming out of the second half, we just talked about execution. We got to execute, and we didn't execute in the first or second half, and that gets you beat every time. So, it just really comes down to, executing the base plays, and we did not do that.
This is the last question.
Sean McFarland, Dallas Morning News. Jacob, for you guys on the defense, in terms of how you wanted to approach Oregon and perform against them, did this meet your expectations in terms of how you wanted to slow this team down, this kind of offense? How did you view that matchup from your perspective?
Yeah, I think we did a good job of matching up and kind of knowing exactly what they wanted to do. A lot of the errors were on our part, self-inflicted, just us not communicating as much as we wanted to and being in the right position. But man, I was super proud of our guys flying around, hitting and going at the ball, and it's just kind of how it goes sometimes. I know we had a few drives start on our side of the 50, and it's hard to play defense like that. But I'm really proud of our guys for bowing their necks and doing what we did. And a big plan for us was they're really explosive, and they got guys who can go all over the field. And if we just get the ball down, we'll live with a 20 or 30-yard gain if we can just get the ball down and play the next play. And you kind of saw that on a lot of the long drives. Is they'd have some explosives, and then we'd be able to step up and do our job and make them kick. And that's all we can do is just give our guys a chance.
Well, that concludes this portion of our press conference with Texas Tech. We want to thank Coach McGuire and our student athletes, Baron Morton and Jacob Rodriguez, for joining us. We wish them the best moving forward.